Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Maya here, even here, karibu sana. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So today we have a new video and I'm going to be showing you how to portion your chicken, number one, how to portion. Number two, how to marinate, not how to clean it, how to marinate it. And that marination part, I have another bonus, so stay tuned to see what bonus I have for you, some tips I have for you there at marinating. And then I'm going to show you how to stew it. I had done another video where I was baking it, and I had another video that I was doing deep frying. I'm going to do a video of how many different ways you can cook your chicken, but for this one I'm just going to be showing you how to wet fry it. And I hope you're going to enjoy. Make sure you watch to the end to see the bonus about that marinating part. So and we are finally at 800 subscribers. I almost said 800,000 subscribers. We're going to get there someday, but that is only going to happen when you tell your friend to subscribe, and that friend will tell another friend to subscribe. So we only have less than 200 people to 1,000 subscribers, and then we're going to throw that bash. If you've been here for some time, I promised you that after you hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have a party. You guys, you better tell your friends to subscribe. And if somebody comes and say that you send them here, I have a gift for you, because you're doing some good jobs by just sharing my content and helping more people to find my channel. So watch to the end. The first thing you need to do is to make sure you secure the press you're working on with a damp cloth to make sure that it holds the chopping board in place. As you can see, I'm using a white chopping board. White is meant for white meats, and a dry chopping board without anything below it can move and make you cut yourself. So you first of all have to do that. As you can see, the chicken has some loose skin. That is why you first of all cut. And if you are going for maybe the pieces I'm going to be showing you, this is what you're going to do. The normal pieces from a chicken are supposed to be 10, especially for hotels, 4 to 10 pieces. But if you are doing this at home, maybe you have many kids and you want to use only one chicken, you can use my guideline. You're going to be having the amount of pieces I show you. You cut at the joint between the thigh and the carcass, or the back of the chicken, to first of all separate the leg. And then from now, when you separate these at the joint, it's going to be easier for you to cut. You can see the joint is popping up, and this root skin, you can actually remove it and do away with it if you don't love it. But I'm going to show you why I don't throw away that skin of the chicken thigh. So you're going to remain with 2 pieces, the thigh and the drumstick. What I'm holding is a drumstick, and this is what I'm telling you. I don't remove that skin. You're going to see why when I'm marinating. That is the first piece, and the thigh is the second piece. You can remove the skin of the thigh, but I will remove that as I clean. You do the same for the other side, and you're going to end up with 4 pieces from the chicken legs. That is 2 thighs, 2 drumstick, and then now we go on. We separate this skin, and then you can just remove this and use it maybe for the chicken stock or giving to your cats. So we now separate from the rib cage. We get the back part, and normally in hotels the back part is not used for maybe serving. It is not served to guests. It is used for the stock. So the part that I've just removed there is usually waste. It is not even eaten in the hotels, but this one is at home. Then you go ahead and cut the wings, and you're going to remain with these 2 parts, the wing and the, what do we call this part between the wing and the rest of the body. This part is usually thrown away but at home I know some people are going to eat it, but that part is waste, or it can go to the chicken stock when you're making soup. So you have 6 pieces so far. We do the same on the other side. We remove the wing from the body, and then we separate it into 2. So that's just what you're going to see me doing. And remember to always cut at the joint to make sure you are safe. Yangu ilikatika vibaya, but don't mind. So after this we're going to be having 8 pieces so far. But at home, that's why this is just at home, but in the hotels you're going to have all this as one piece. I told you this piece is usually thrown away or used for the chicken soup. So far you have 8 pieces. And then now we remain with the chicken breast, and this part that I'm holding with my left hand is usually waste. It is part of the back part of the chicken which is not eaten. Most of the times it is thrown away, but we are Kenyans, we don't throw this away. It is part of food. I actually love eating the back of the chicken compared to the front. So this one we are going to separate it into two. I'm telling you, we need to get as many pieces as possible, especially if you have many people who we want to feed this one chicken. But I'm going to do another video in the future where you only get 4 pieces or 10 pieces. 10 pieces is the maximum that you need to get from a chicken, or what you're supposed to get from a chicken. But this one is for a family or maybe a party that has so many people. So you have 10 pieces so far. This part is usually thrown away or used for the chicken stock, but in Kenyan homes, we're not throwing this away. So you separate that into two. And here you need a sharper knife. I have a bigger knife, but I was just going to use this one because this is broiled chicken and it is not that hard to cut it. The bones are very brittle. They are not like for kienyeji chicken, but for kienyeji chicken, you need a bigger knife and a sharper one for that matter. So I'm just going to separate these. And the reason why it is not served to guests in the hotels is because it is so bony, and these bones might not be very safe, especially when you're serving kids. So this part, you remove the skin and then you remain with the chicken breast. I know everybody knows this is the chicken breast. This is the part that is spongy. I hate this part with all my heart. But it's not bad to eat it. Actually, it is very tasty if it is cooked in the right way. There are so many ways you can cook this part. If you'd want me to do a separate video for how to make different meals with chicken breast, I can do that. So there is a line here you just use to divide into two, and then you cut it into two or three. If your chicken is bigger, you're going to get 3 parts from that one side, and also 3 from the other side. But for this chicken, it was not that big, so we only get 2 pieces from the chicken breast. Yeah, I think that's the whole that's the many pieces you can get from a chicken. Doing more than that is actually wasting, but I think 16 is the maximum you can get from one chicken. But again, if your family is bigger, you are going to know what to do with that. So this is the waste that goes to the chicken stock, or you can just throw it away or give your cat. So here we are going to use this one as a strainer because I'm going to wash the chicken. This is the second part of this video, how to clean a chicken. In the cleaning water, add vinegar because it is antimicrobial and it preserves food and tenderizes the meat. And then we add a generous amount of baking soda because it makes the chicken skin crispier and actually make the meat juicier. And then lemon, it has so many advantages of adding lemon in your chicken cleaning or rinsing water because it neutralizes odors. I'm sure you have ever got chicken, and especially fresh chicken, which and then you find it is smelling. So lemon is going to remove that smell, and it also tenderizes the meat, and also potentially reduce the bacteria load because obviously chicken has a lot of bacteria, but it is going to help you do that, to get rid of that. So I make sure that every part of the chicken that I'm not removing the skin, I scrub with the lemon to make sure I remove all the bacteria I can be able to do, all the bacteria can be able to get rid of. Obviously you cannot remove everything, but at least by cleaning it with the lemon, it is going to help us get rid of some. And if you can, please get rid of the skin. The chicken skin carries a lot of bacteria, but you can never get rid of everything. So you can just clean the way you do. But if you're not going to add anything to that water, make sure you clean with lemon. And I'm going to show you why I don't remove the skin of the drumstick. When I'm marinating, you are going to see the benefits of not removing that. So I make sure you scrub everything, and this is the point where you remove any fur that might have been left, or better you can, if you do your own slaughtering of the chicken, you can just put it on fire. It is going to be any fur that is remaining there, or any feather is remaining there, it is going to be burnt by that fire. You can just put the chicken on fire. uh if you watch the video that I did for the previous cousin gathering, you're going to see us put the meat or the chicken on top of fire to burn off any fur that might have remained. So yeah, there are people who prefer removing the skin, or and some of us love the skin. I think the skin is actually sweeter when it is on the chicken. So generally here I was just cleaning the chicken, and I don't think there is much to see. And you can see the chicken is not just the one that I showed you when I was butchering it, or when I was portioning it. These are two chicken, that's why they seem a lot. I did one off camera because I didn't want to make this video too long, and I didn't want you to get bored, because I know somebody here knows how to do all these and they're waiting for the marination. That part there, do you comment down below and tell me whether you eat that part of the chicken that I was holding. In a place we call it kamatako, or the buttock of the chicken. Some people throw it away. Actually, I forgot to tell you that when I was cutting the pieces. But some people throw that part away. But I love it. I love it actually. Inaitangwa gatina in our native language. And it is so tasty. But somebody will not take that. Actually, I heard that some tribes, if you serve a guest that, it shows that you didn't welcome them, or you don't appreciate their presence there. So if you're from that community, please comment down below whether it is true. I'm not going to mention the tribe, but if you know in your community that part is not taken, please tell us. And that part of the wing that I was holding before this one, it is the part that is used for making the chicken wings. Yeah, I know there are so many ways you can cook your chicken, and I'm going to be doing 1 week of eating chicken so that I can show you the different ways you can cook your chicken. So after you have removed everything, you're going to see the dirt that was in that water. Yeah, this kapat is used to make the chicken wings, and I was just scrubbing it to make sure I get rid of every dirt. So this is the waste you get to throw away. You can see I've still removed some more skin. So after that, we're supposed to give your chicken some time to dry, but I didn't have enough time. So I just removed that water and then poured them in the basin, and then I'm going to make the marination. So this point of marination, I'm going to show you everything I use, and you don't have to use my procedure, but you can use any spices you use in your house. So I was just doing cubes, the different cubes I had. I didn't have the Maggi cubes. I love using Maggi cubes, but I just had these two types of cubes, and I was going to use them. And one thing I learned about cooking, it's not about maybe the skills. The skills matter, but not that much. Is being creative. You just use any spice that you love in your kitchen. That's what you're going to be using. But I'm going to show you how I do mine. And I also told you in the introduction, there are some spices you don't use for fried chicken, and there are some spices you don't use for roasting. So I'm going to be showing you which as we move on. You just crush your cubes, the Royco cubes. I was using the Royco cubes, the vegetable one and the beef one. And after those, we are going to add some pepper. I love getting fresh pepper from the market, drying them under the sun, and then I grind using the blender. the grinder part, that is turmeric. You use as much as you can. Turmeric make your chicken look so nice. And then after turmeric, I'm going to add chicken curry. I love chicken curry. And another spice that I had run out of, it is called danajera. I don't know whether I'm going to be writing these spices on the screen, but in case you want all of them and I don't write it on the screen, you can ask me in the comment. I'm going to tell you all the spices. That is paprika. I think everybody knows paprika because it is very different even in color from the other spices. After that, I'm going to be using salt, and I think those are the only spices I use. The dry spices, I don't know whether salt is a spice. I think salt is a condiment or a spice. Anything, you don't have to complicate. You can add any spice of choice. After that, I was going to use soy sauce, but I didn't have the light soy sauce. The dark soy sauce is used for the red meats and the red soy sauce is used for the white meats. But because I didn't have the light soy sauce, I was just going to use the dark soy sauce, but not much of it because it is not the one that is used for chicken. And then generous amount of oil. The oil should get in your chicken because you're not going to use a lot of oil when frying this. And in case you are roasting, you need much more oil. In case you are deep frying, you don't need to put so much oil in the marination. Actually, if you are going to deep fry your chicken, please avoid using oil when you are marinating. So we make this paste, and this paste, because I'm not going to be deep frying my chicken, I'm just going to add more oil to make sure it gets in the chicken. And you're going to see where when you're cooking, I'm going to cook some small pieces or some few pieces so that you can see how to do it. So, and then the next thing is just fry this on the chicken. This is the most interesting part, or rather the most disgusting for some people. And at this point, make sure you wear your gloves. But in case you don't have your gloves, I'm going to show you what to do with your nails in case you have made your nails, because the turmeric is going to stain your nails definitely, but I'm going to show you how to clean your nails after this. So you can see I was just holding it with my bare hands because it is for my family, it's not for eating. This is like a part I was asking you what you call in your what you call it in your tribe or in your place. So you just make sure you massage all the chicken with all this marination, this paste. Some people, or rather when you are doing roasting of your chicken, you have to make these spices more watery because you need to cover it completely. And when you're roasting, one day I'm going to do a video of baking or roasting your chicken, and I'm going to show you the extra marination that you need to make your chicken even tastier. So why I was not removing this skin is because I apply this paste inside this skin, and it is going to hold the marination in, as you can see what I've done. And when you bite that part, it's going to be very juicy and it's going to be very tasty. That's why I don't remove the skin of the drumstick. You can see what I'm doing. I make sure I leave some marination inside there, and any other skin, as long as you can be able to hide some marination inside there, it is going to make it juicier. The skin that I removed from this chicken breast, if it was not that sagging, I would have still leave it there so that it can hold the marination in. If you're like me, I'm sure you feel like the chicken breast is very spongy and it is not that sweet, so I don't love it. But when I marinate the chicken, I get it is very tasty. And you can just cut some small lines the way you do fish on the chicken breast, so that you can lock in some marination or some oil inside there to make the chicken breast not to be so boring. So this is why I told you you need to dry your chicken, or you can even pat it with a chicken towel to avoid remaining this water there, because it is going to seal some of your marination. That's why I was putting it on the chopping board, because I know that that price was there. So you move as you clean, and make sure if you have watched up to this point, you subscribe before we continue. Look at the subscription button. If it is still red, you know you have not subscribed. If it is dark, you have subscribed. Look how good the chicken looks like. I am sure you feel like you could eat it at that point. So what I do after that, I separate it into different papers. My zip rockers are out. That's why I was using that one. And this is the point now. I'm going to cook, I think, 6 pieces because we're only me and my mom. I was going to cook this. First of all, you dry these ones on in your pan without adding any oil or anything, to make sure the marination gets into the meat kabisa. So I first of all put this on fire and then remove it, and then now we go on. The oil that have come out of that chicken is the one I'm going to fry my onions with. I don't add more oil. And you can see my onions are already getting cooked because the oil that I removed from the chicken when I was roasting it here to make sure the spices or the marination gets in is the one I'm going to be using to fry my onions. And don't mind if some part of if you're using non-stick, if you're not using non-stick pots like me, it is going to get stained a bit, but by the time we finish cooking, you're not going to see that staining. After that, I was just going to add my tomatoes and capsicum, green capsicum, because I wanted to use the simplest things you can get just outside your doorstep. So after they are cooked like this and they are mushy, you add the chicken, because when you add the chicken before they are cooked like that, they don't get cooked well. You just mix. Remember, you're not adding any spice or salt until you are sure that it is not enough. So I'm going to cover that, wait for some few minutes, and then get back to it. So after some time, you're going to get it like this, because the marination and the tomatoes are cooked. That's why you have this water here, or this soup. I didn't add any water or soup. Make sure you stir it well until everything mix up. Yeah, and then you give it some time to cook some more. So that's basically everything. So guys, if you are doing that marination that I've just showed you, you need to put on this to avoid staining your white nails. You can see this one is white. I have already cleaned it. Nazime parara, so don't mind. I'm just showing you what I did. So if you see the other hands, the other nails they are stained by turmeric. Nimejaribu kusugua, nimesugua azingari. I don't know whether you can see because nimetumia flashlight so that you can see clearly. But you can see there is a difference between these nails. These ones are white and these ones are stained by turmeric. So I have just googled something. You just put on, unaona hii inakaa turmeric. This is a clean cotton wool and just your normal remover. So nimeonyesha like you need to put some remover on your cotton wool like this, generous amount. Make sure umeiwet kabisa. And then this ikikuwa hivyo wet, you just clean your nails zenye ziko stained na turmeric. So I've already cleaned. Sina mtu kunishikia kamera, that's why I've just done it off camera, and you can see now it is turmeric yote imebaki kwa hii cotton wool. And yeah, my nails are back to white. So turmeric yote inabaki kwa cotton wool. I've always used these ones, but venye leo nimesahau, all bladder nilikuwa na haraka. I have seen that my nails got stained, hadi pink inaka pink imechafuka. But I had to look for a solution for us guys. So I'm so happy for this. I was skeptical, nilikuwa dhani inaweza toa the polish or the gel, but nimeona zimebaki zikiwa poa. Yeah, and my nails are back to white. So sijari, if you don't have these gloves, you can just use your hands, even with your white nails, then upanguze tu na remover, the normal remover, or lemon, weke ndimu na what else, baking soda, and then you just soak them in na zitabaki zikuwa hivi vizuri. So back to cooking. Our food is almost ready. Actually, I think iko sawa by now. Nimeipika sana. Yeah, and I know it is taste as good as I thought it would. So at this point now you taste, and then ukisikia haijaonja, now you can add your spices or salt or anything you would want to add at this point now. Yeah, and then you finish. Yeah, so that brings her to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the whole video. I told you it was going to be short, but it is very informative. So the next time I'm going to be doing a video about chicken. It is about the different ways you can cook it. So if you have any question about portioning, about marination, about cleaning, you can lay down on the comment and I'm going to answer you there, or do another video if it is a broad topic. So thank you for watching up to this point. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and let your friends know about this channel, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.